Hi, everybody. Marty Rubin, and I'm back for another segment of Marty's Corner. And today's special guests, we have on the far end Chris Donovan, who is playing the sinister, the mean-spirited warden.
Mr. Snyder.
Snyder, right? Just the name Snyder. Oh, scary. And now we have Andrew Foote, who's playing the no-nonsense, pompous, powerful owner of the Old World newspaper, Joseph Pulitzer.
That's me. Yep.
In the hit musical,
Newsies.
So the bad guys.
The bad guys.
You got the bad guys. Yeah.
What are we going to do with you? I mean, you guys are so rough on the Newsies. I mean, unbelievable. Chris, this is your third production at the Argyle. Okay, you played the mean constable in Fiddler on the Roof.
Yeah.
You played the troublemaking salesman in The Music Man, and now you are this mean Snyder. Okay. Why are you always playing the bad guy?
I have no idea.
You're a nice guy.
Nice guy.
That's that's what I hear. No, I think that a lot of times it's also I'm big, right? And so that's imposing, and so that helps out a lot. I mean, when we did Fiddler, they had me in those huge boots, so on the top of being 6'3", I was probably 6'5" with those boots on.
Right.
Yeah, and I think there's a certain intimidation that comes with a person's size, and I usually do something physically to make that character a little bit more imposing.
Right.
Since I was wearing those tall boots in Fiddler, I stood straight up to make myself appear taller.
Yes.
I hunched down a little bit to make myself look a little more gruff and a little more intimidating for
Well,
this
it worked.
one.
What you were doing, you were scaring me. And now you play this tough businessman, and is it fun being a big tough businessman?
Absolutely, yes.
You're pretty rough on the Newsies, though,
Yeah, well, it's fun to feel. It's fun in this show. I think the writing is really good. It's really fun. The scene work that I get to do is some of the most fun that I've ever had.
Yes.
And the way that he feels like he is in absolute control. And the setup of the show is that he is in complete control.
Yes.
Until he isn't. And then we get to see that too, which is even more fun to play.
Yes,
so
yes. And when you play him tough,
Yeah.
when you somewhat get your comeuppance, it's fun.
Yeah, it's like inflating that balloon as big as it goes, then
Yes,
that's
exactly.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Chris, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Connecticut,
Okay.
right outside of Danbury.
And you lived there for a lot of years, or you came to New York?
I came to New York when I was like 19, 20,
Okay.
in between that time, and I've been here ever since.
And when did you start performing?
I've been performing since I was a little kid, doing shows at school and doing things in the community, and it just kind of built from there.
Right. How about yourself, Andrew?
I grew up in New Jersey, and I started in theater because my parents sent me to an all-boys high school. And the only activity at that high school that had girls involved was theater. And so I showed up, and I guess I've never left, so.
Yes.
But my wife's an actress, so it worked out.
Okay.
The plan actually, it worked out, so.
That's nice. That's good. Did you know, were you familiar with the backstory of Newsies when you auditioned for the show?
A little bit, yeah. I had done a production of this in Summerstock. I had a smaller role, and I was doing two bigger roles, and then they threw me into Newsies in a smaller role. So I kind of knew it. And I was familiar with the film from the '90s.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. When you're playing a character like that, and he's very tough on the Newsies, and he's a tough customer. Okay.
Yeah.
When you're playing him, how do you view him? Do you say, "Oh, he's a tough businessman," or "He's a bully"? Like, how do you view your character?
I view it. He's a human being with priorities that come in conflict with other human beings who have different priorities.
Right.
And so that makes it that's going to ground it a little more realism, at least for me, and give me a little bit more to do than just twirl the mustache and be, the evil villain tying the damsel in distress to the train tracks. So you have to start out there. You have to always, because I think with very few exceptions in this world, people don't believe that they're ever making a choice as a bad guy. They think they're just making the best choice for them. So,
The same thing I think for you, Chris. I mean, listen, you're running an orphanage and you're trying to get the kids, the Newsies, to get into the orphanage. I mean, you're a nice guy. I've met you, a number of times here. You wouldn't do that in real life, but
No.
you have to
As
find.
far as we know.
As far as we know, right. But you have to find some justification for playing the character. So, like, how are you able to say, okay, this is what my character is doing, but I have to play him effectively? So how do you
Well, I think what Andrew
handle
said
that?
is ultimately the same thing. Like, very few people in the world are making decisions because they want to be bad.
Right.
And so somebody like Mr. Snyder thinks that he's doing the world a service and that he's wrangling all these delinquent kids and getting them off the street. And there are some other things that go along with that. I mean, he's doing it for profit, so he's
Right.
also making money doing it. And he seems to enjoy it on a lot of levels. But at the end of the day, a person like him has to justify that they're cleaning up the street and that they're doing something good, even though it's coming through bad, and he might not always have the best
Right.
intentions.
What do you think, Chris, the message of Newsies is?
I think that really that the smallest voice can turn into the loudest movement.
Yes.
And I think that that gets showcased in the show very well.
Yes, yes. So as Marty's Corner fans, there's a sports reference coming.
Okay.
So, here we go.
We've been
We'll-
warned.
We'll bring it back to theater, but here we go. So in a baseball game, the ultimate confrontation is between the pitcher and the batter. And when the batter is digging in at home plate and close to the plate, the pitcher doesn't like it because he views, or she views that this is my plate.
Yeah.
So back in the day, like a Bob Gibson or a Pedro Martinez or a Roger Clemens, they would throw a fastball at the batter's head, okay? And that was called chin music. And, and it would back them off the plate.
Yeah.
Joseph Pulitzer, your character, throws his chin music at the Newsies when
Yeah.
he decides to raise the prices of the papers, and he says, hey, this is the bottom line, okay?
Yeah.
So is your character, is that the way he sees in control of the situation?
I think so. I think, and honestly, as you were describing chin music, the point, I think, to even get it even more granular, I think that throwing on the inside there's a big reveal moment that I'm not going to give away to the camera for the people that haven't
Right.
seen the show.
Right.
But there's a moment in the second act where I throw it really far inside to
Right.
Jack.
You really got him
yeah,
off the plate.
and I
Yeah.
show him something that he did not expect to say. You're on my turf.
Right.
And I make the rules here. I'm the
Right.
umpire and the pitcher and
Right.
the manager.
In a lot of ways, you and
I own
Jack
the park.
Kelly were the pitcher and catcher. in that
Yeah,
one.
and so there are moments like that a lot. And when you get, everybody wants to be the pitcher,
Yes.
striking out the batter.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So,
Chris,
cool.
today we just finished the show
Mm-hmm.
right now, and we're doing a second show tonight. How do you come down from the show and then get back up again for the next show? How do you pace yourself?
Well, I mean, I always take a time for myself when it's not as bad a weather as it's been or as cold. I usually go and take for like a quiet walk, clear my head. This instance, because it's cold outside, I'll probably just find a quiet place where I can sit down and just be by myself for a moment, clear myself of all my thoughts, and then once I get myself back to kind of a even footing, then I start to rebuild what I need to bring in for the next.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. When you're looking, Andrew, on one of these big numbers, the choreography is just tremendous in the show.
So glad I'm not doing any of it.
And
the people that pay money are definitely glad I'm not dancing.
Snyder doing those leaps. I don't know. I don't think that's in the cards. But when you're looking around, like you may not even be, actually having dialogue at that point.
Yeah.
When you're looking around and seeing the incredibly athletic moves that are being performed on the stage, do you have to say, wow, get out of character for yourself and say, wow, I'm part of this super production.
Yeah, and the other thing too that is Newsies has a large cast as dictated by the script.
Right.
Not a lot of theaters do that. The Newsies, you hear about Newsies productions and it's compressed. It's done with 18 people instead of we've got almost 30 people on our show. No corners cut.
We went for it. We went for it.
You did. You went for it, and that's impressive. That's what's really. The audience is getting the full Newsies, not some,
Right.
you know, and every one of those Newsies dances at the highest level. It's kind of incredible. It's really
Yes,
great.
yes.
It's like being thrown the keys to a Formula One car for us here every night.
Yes,
You know what I
yes,
mean?
it is, it is.
We're going to give you all the tools. Go out and do your job the best way you can.
Yeah, you know, I look, the little things in sports mean a lot. And I look at the little things with the actors on stage, like, not, of course, the big numbers are important, and of course, you know, extremely difficult dialogue back and forth. But I look at sometimes your facial expressions. Like, I don't want to give anything away with you, but there are some scenes where you're, you know, menacing, and you know, or you do little subtle moves that make it clear, you know, that you're a bad guy.
Yeah.
Was that something that was given to you by the director, or do you improvise it a little bit based on how you're feeling out here?
Well, in rehearsal, I kind of improvise it a little bit until I find something that seems like it's repeatable and that I can do. I do find new things and new moments. I think
Is that based on crowd reaction, or just
no,
how you?
just listening and seeing what's going on, getting used to what's going on with other people.
Right.
Because one thing about acting is that we're always concentrating on what's going on with us, and then once we know what's going on with us, then we can start to look at what's going on with other people.
Right.
You know, there's one moment where Andrew turns and says, "What good would that do for me?" You know, when you know, talking about things being, you know, quiet versus loud.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, I was just standing there. But then I realized that matters to me as well.
Right.
And so when he says, "What good would quiet do for me?" I'm like, "Yeah, what good would quiet
Right,
do?"
right.
You know, and so it changes my demeanor and it changes my
Yes,
facial
and those
expression.
things mean a lot, because you don't know who's looking at you at that moment,
Yeah.
you know, and it means a lot. We mentioned earlier about the moment that you tell everybody about the bottom line,
Yeah.
and you get to use your really, really nice voice to sing that song. You really do. Could you give the fans a little sneak peek of a little bit of the bottom line song?
Yes, absolutely. And I most times when people ask to sing your song from the show, you know, people want to hear the big ending, but I'm going to start with the nice quiet beginning.
That's good.
Yeah, just Nunzio knows when he's cutting my hair. Trim a bit here and then trim a bit there. Just a modest adjustment can fatten the bottom line.
All right, I love it, I love it. We'll have to hear the rest of the song when you come and see Newsies. We're playing Wednesday through Sunday, straight through to March 22nd, and we can't wait to see you at the Argyle Theater. Take care, everybody.